Alright, folks, and welcome back to the channel. It's time to preview tomorrow's game as we go up to McDermott Park with the chance to extend our league at the top of the table to 16 points as the Brown Brogues FC spill yet more points. Alistair, how you doing? Sun shines everywhere apart from Govan, especially in Leaf as
Yeah,
well.
I know. I know well. It was kind of nice to hear that, but I wish I could say I was surprised, but I'm not, because it's happened all season, and that's
Aye,
why we won the league by the length of Sucky Hall Street. To be honest with you,
aye. No, but it now gives us the chance to win the league before
at
the
home,
split.
yeah.
Um, a game which I will not be at. So, but it's obviously just about Celtic focusing on themselves. The league's won. It's been won for months. To be honest with you. So it's just about kind of taking these games off. To be honest, I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow. I think with this, especially a team like St Johnstone, I think gets to this point of the season, they're just going to be scrapping for everything. To be honest with you, and I think St
And
Johnstone obviously need to scrap for absolutely everything.
I think St Johnson are gone. We
Aye,
with with D and Kilmarnock both winning. I think they're gone. So
mm-hmm.
I think, to be honest, Josh, St Johnson un, under can do for them. It might be a blessing in disguise because it might it might let them reset
Mm-hmm.
and readjust. But however, from your point of view, it's just about getting in, getting the 3 points and setting up next week. Uh,
I was listening to something in the week, and it was Murray Davison was talking to the BBC, and he was talking about how there's been like mismanagement at come on St Johnson for years. Obviously went from probably an established Premiership side, and they've been teetering on the edge kind of the last few seasons. Also, it was not too long ago they won a domestic fucking cup double, but
I
so.
was going to say that.
I think there's been a lot of mismanagement at St Johnstone. So, as you said, there Kundun might help them, but I do think the Championship's a nightmare to get out of. So I don't think they would bounce straight back up. Um,
Well, Libby's finding that out because
um,
they're no guaranteed to come right back up.
so because I don't think Premier League, I don't think teams maybe like with the exception of maybe Hearts and Hibs, they can bounce back up. A few years back.
But they were
Um,
always going, eh, Josh?
Obviously, I
That's
know.
the
Obviously, Rangers found it difficult to bounce back up from the Championship. But anyway, no, but I think I think it's just about Celtic kind of focusing on it. I think Valakari, I think, has done a decent job. I know it's going to sound really stupid. I don't watch St Johnstone, but what I've seen in him, he's doing the best he can with what he's got there. It's not a good squad, to be honest with you. It's pretty poor. Um, so I think he's doing the best he can with the squad there, and I think he is a decent manager. I think he would maybe do decent to maybe like Mullowell or something.
I
Um,
think I think he'll I think if St John's the last thing St Johnson need to do is sack the manager because that would be pointless. Because let's face it, they were down when he took over. They're lucky still to have a mathematical chance to stay up. Let's face it.
aye,
But that's what you get when you appoint Craig Levine. But
I think what St Johnstone need to do is just move. Um, they need to just I think try and stick with a manager, but that's very hard for teams in football to be honest these days. But as for Celtic, because we spoke quite a lot about St Johnstone now, but as for Celtic, um. I mean, it's pretty just business as usual. Obviously, I think.
it's
And
get in,
obviously,
get the
aye,
3 points, and and I think from your point of view, see when you're playing the bottom of the league, Josh, just one.
nah,
It sounds simple, but honest to God, doesn't matter at this stage what it looks like. Just one, just
no,
one.
definitely, definitely. It's been quite pretty quiet. I know we've been linked to a few players in the summer window. The Belgian winger that we're linked to, he's come back into the frame. Apparently, we sent scouts over to Belgium to watch. So see also what happens with that.
I think there might be something in that, Josh, because the source that, although he writes for an absolute scumbag of a paper, is well known to be well versed on
Connected.
what Celtic are doing. So I
Aye.
think there might be something in that. But it wouldn't surprise me. But listen, we know what's coming in. A winger, a holding midfielder, and probably an attacking midfielder should who we think's going to go. And by that I mean attacking Kun. I think we all know what's coming in. Doesn't it take a rocket scientist to work it out?
Aye. I think if you were going to ask me, I'm not saying I want the players to go. I think I would. I want.
I
I've
don't.
made.
I'll be
Aye.
heartbroken when Rio goes, but
Not even just Real. I think Kuhn's been given a bit of a tough time by some of his supporters recently. Aye, he's not played too great. But I still think we need to try and keep as much as we can. Try and keep these players if we want to try and compete at you. So what I'm trying to say, I know Celtic need to sell players to that's their model, but I think we do need to tweak the model a bit. It needs to be a really good offer for us to let go. It can't be selling on the cheap because if we want to do well in Europe, we can't keep selling us, getting a new squad every 3 years. Because they're not going to. Because then you're probably bringing in
you're going
somebody.
to run out. You're going to run out. What do you call it? You're going to run out wriggle room because you can't keep expecting to pull a nugget out the bag.
No, that's it, mate. But that's where that's where I get that, but we should be expected to keep pulling players out the bag because that's what your scouting team is there to do. So if what I'm trying to say, if we're trying, I'll put it this way, if we're trying to be a European, we're trying to be a consistent European side. That's what we're trying to be. That is the goal of where Celtic need to go.
Consistent Champions League side.
We've got it nailed in domestically at the moment, so there's only one way you can go. But if you keep selling your same player, I get Celtic will be. This is going to become a point where Celtic need to sell probably Nicholas Cunrail, Hatate, stuff like that, and the club need to know when when to kind of pull the trigger, if you know what I mean, on selling a player. But then that's when it also comes in. Right, when you sell that player, they need to have a player with good quality because we can't have the same as last summer, where last summer, sorry, 2 summers ago, where you're selling Jota for 25 million and Luis Palma's coming in the door. What I'm trying to say is we need players. If you're going to sell these players, if you're going to sell maybe 1 or 2, but you don't sell 3 or 4 players in the one window because then you need to bring these players in for Belgium or whatever, probably with no much Champions League experience, and then you need to, and that takes a while to get used to the Champions League experience. I don't think Celtic are that experienced. And when I talk about experience, I talk about the dark arts, buying fouls, just breaking the game up. It's things like that. That's what I'm saying. If we keep selling players, then we're going to keep bedding players in. We're probably not going to advance in Europe the way that we'd want to advance.
For the record, Josh, I don't think we'll sell too many this summer. I really don't.
And they need to be for decent price.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think the reason we've been linked with a winger, I personally think Kuhn's off. I think to be honest, and I said this to you, when we were linked with wingers in January. I said, I know the way Celtic work. They'll be trying to get somebody Kuhn's replacement in annuity to settle him in, and that makes sense. Obviously, it never happened. That's a different story. But I do think Celtic have been quite decent at getting good fees for their players. My issue is we've no been good at replacing them. That's the issue.
I know definitely. If you want to be a consistent European club, Champions League club, or even try to get maybe the latter stages of the Europa League, you're going to have decent recruitment.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to have to find players that not just find players for the wilderness all the time, but you're going to need to probably spend a bit of money as well. But you're going to also need to be careful how you spend that money. You know, so
For
you know,
example, you can maybe have one player that kind of takes a wee bit to settle in, but if you 3 or 4, you're up the shit street.
you're out your shit. You can't carry. You can't carry 3 or 4 players, and I think that's why it's really important about bringing Kieran Tierney in the summer. I think with the left back position, we know he knows what it's about up here. And by the way, I watched him for Arsenal
You,
today. Yeah,
you
again,
told me you said he
uh,
was outstanding when he come on.
probably should have had 2 assists, but the 2 headers were put out of the bar.
Yeah.
And then I looked on Twitter as well, and Arsenal fans are like, "Why the fuck we letting him go?" So, I mean, if we keep Kieran Tierney fit, I've got no doubts that we're getting a player that we probably shouldn't be getting, because I do think he could still get games at Arsenal.
We're probably getting one of the few Scottish players being fit that is world class.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
And I believe
see
that. I think
I
he's
don't
shown for Arsenal when he's fit and
see
he gets a
that
run in the
lightly.
team. When he gets a run in the team, I think he's top class. I think he's been ridiculous. So it's good by bringing him in, obviously, because he'll know what it's all about. But at the same time, it's just those other positions. Alistair, what about team selection? Obviously, we've seen the return of Paulo Bernardo, Benjamin Sinisterra was in goal, who I thought done okay. What would you do for the team selection?
Go as strong as possible.
Aye.
And because it's one game a week now, Josh, and call it early doors, and then you can experiment. That's what I would do.
Aye.
I would also keep Naroki in.
I think he deserves it.
It's a no anything against Trusty, because you know I like Trusty
What's
as
wrong with
well.
Trusty? Is he unfit, or is he? Because it
I
just seems
think it's because Naroki done well in the game nobody likes to talk about, and I think Rogers has said right until you do something wrong, you're in the team, and
What
that's
would
the
you
way
do?
it is.
What would you do about him in the summer? Know what
Personally,
Rodgers will do, know what the club. What would you do if you were the manager of Celtic Football Club? Thank fuck you're not. But anyway,
I'll give you my 4 centre halves, provided we don't sell anybody. Vickers, Trusty, Scales, Naroki. No in that order, but they'd be my 4.
aye. No, I'd be my 4 as well. So I do think I think Lagerbielke will leave. I think he's attracting
I think
interest.
Welsh can go.
I
Welsh
think
can go
he's
as well.
attracting interest in Holland. I mean, I don't know about how shit the Dutch league is, because the fact that Robin Proper came in here and he was a captain of 20, it's one of the better teams in Holland as well. So,
Cam
but
Lammer went to
aye,
his head.
but no, it's I think Lagerbielke will probably go, and I'd say we're
Palmer will
maybe
go as well.
Palmer needs to go. I seen he's having wee digs at Rodgers, which just sends you
That's
loose more
not a
for
good
loose.
sign if
Aye.
you want to stay long term,
No, I
Williams.
think he knows that he's gone in the summer. I think he's shit. He is. I'm honestly, I don't want to say that about one team players, but he's
Well,
awful.
I
But
hate to say this, but when Rodgers was reappointed, everyone, the majority of Celtic fans that I know, went the first person he's going to bag, to use a phrase, is Lewis Palmer. He's just not a Rodgers type of player.
aye, Rodgers. I don't think Rodgers likes players who have got a pretty. I don't want to speculate, but I don't think he's
Attitude,
got a great attitude, to be honest.
attitude,
Um, for me,
lazy players.
Naroki, I think I would, if he wants to stay, I'd give him. I'd say like fair enough. For me, goalkeeper is obviously going to be Salo. Right back, I'd give Ralston a go, I think, because I just think Johnston's been playing a lot of football at the moment. He's been over there, obviously, the world with Canada. I was reading something they were saying like maybe because he's been playing a lot of football, and the worst thing you want him is breaking down and maybe getting injured for the semi-finals and the potentially Scottish Cup final.
Because let's be honest, Joy, that is the only competitive football now we've got left.
Aye, Ralston
That
for
doesn't
me.
make me a lot of lost games, by the
Aye,
way. That's just me being honest.
for me it's Ralston. I think I'd give Ralston around it. Centre half, I still think we'll go with Carter Vickers and Trusty. I'd go with the Rocky and Vickers, but I think if you're
Just try a back three.
No, I don't fart about with tactics, to be honest. Just get game one, and you don't want to fart about with tactics and stuff. You want to try. I'm always like, I want to try and win the league with the most amount of points possible. So I always like you just go your full kind of strength. Maybe you can make the odd change, but
would you?
No, Rodgers isn't going to do that. It's not going to do that. I don't. The Celtic have very rarely played with a back three. So
I'd love to try it, but it's just me.
Left back, Sloop will stay in there because Taylor's obviously, he's announced it when he's been told he's pretty much.
We're not discussing the rumour, guys. Okay.
It's not going to happen. He'll not go to Rangers. Midfield, McGregor. I think there's a difference between Callum McGregor's in there. I think we need to dispel this shite that, and maybe I was included in this, that the team were better without him. It's nonsense. It's complete nonsense, to be honest with you. Engels, I think, will play as well. And I think he might play Bernardo. I've got a feeling he might try and get some.
I think he might play Bernardo.
Because I think he'll just try and get some minutes in Bernardo's legs, really. Up top, I'd just go full strength for your Jota, Kuhn, and Maeda. I've seen he get the player of the month as well, so he's.
He's
I mean, I don't know.
Player of the year. It's not even up for debate now.
Watch him still get on Shankland.
You've never got over that, have you?
I don't know how you can have a guy who was playing brilliant in Europe as well and still get Lawrence Shankland. I mean, I think Lawrence Shankland had a decent season last season, but come on, fuck. To be honest with you.
Incidentally, why can Matt O'Reilly not get a game for playing? Baffles me.
I just think he's another one of just. When have we actually had a decent import that's actually went to the club and done a decent job?
Van Dijk and Tierney.
Van Dijk, Frimpong maybe won the league with Leverkusen.
But to be fair to O'Reilly, by the way, I don't think he's been given a chance.
No, he's not been given a chance, but at the end of the day, we get the money. I couldn't really give a flying fuck what they do after he leaves. But I see him do well, obviously. But
we'll probably sign him for £5 million in the summer.
That seems to be our selling model now. Also, to finish off the St Johnstone stuff, score predictions.
I'm going to go 4-0. 4-0.
I was thinking 4-0 as well. I think we'll get a good 3 goals, I think. But we just need to be careful,
I think will help tomorrow. I don't think Valakari can sit in, because the point is that they're good.
That's what I was going to say. They're going to be under pressure to try and get 3 points, but we also need to make sure we don't off it, because they're probably going to be. We need to get 3 points here. Because I'd say you're near enough out. You're not out the relegation race, but
it'd be really
difficult. Aye.
Especially the goal difference as well. That's another point in there.
But what were you? So I 4-0. I think we'll.
I said 4-0.
Be pretty easy. I always thought we need to have a word about these league kits, because I think we're going to have contrasting opinions on them. Because I've seen some of your comments on Twitter, and I don't think you think they're that bad. If I'm being honest with you,
can I clarify what I mean by that? Everybody thought it was a bumblebee. That is not a bumblebee. And I suppose it is a third kit. It's not that bad. But that's not what was advertised on the...
It's like a pair of pyjamas, man, to be honest with you.
But I bet you it's... When folks see it up close, they'll go, that's not that bad.
But that's what we've used to describe every Adidas kit that we fucking had, because, and I think that is us just like going like that. Well, I've bought it, so I need to just make peace with it.
It's like it's like mint green.
I'm
And
not
that's
like,
no
and we're meant to be one of these Adidas, these what do you call it, Adidas All Stars or
elite
whatever, the big,
clubs, aye.
like Bayern Munich, and they're getting screamers of kits, and I'm like, what were you getting? Pish? Like, we need
Well,
to have a discussion
I
about
can't
Adidas.
wait to see what the home jersey is going to be like.
We
But
need to have a discussion. I mean, it's Adidas is just,
I think
it
they've
was
had
so good
one,
at the time.
they've had, they've had, they've had maybe about 4 good tops. If I, if I was to,
Well, that'll
if
be a
I,
video. Will do a video on that because I want to actually research that and actually look at how many kits I've done. Will do a tier list or
I think
something.
we done that, did we
Eh,
not? I think we
but
did.
I'm looking at at them now, and I put like, but they're just. I mean, it's just. It
I
looks like
can
an
tell
Asda
you,
carrier bag. The top looks like a fucking Asda carrier bag.
well, I'll still never go over Josh. Now, personally, remember that, you know that kit I wear? That should have been the home kit last year,
I
but
don't
it
get.
wasn't. It wasn't because it was smart as anything.
To be fair, I
But
didn't really mind the black away kit last year. The black one, I like black
I know
tops.
you got that, didn't you?
It would look nice with the Champions League logo on it and all that, and I'd obviously
Aye,
got Kyogo on the back of it. I didn't mind that as much. It was plain, but I mean,
plane's better.
last year's home kit was awful. Like generally, it's one of the worst I think I've ever seen.
The
The
one in
third
West
kit just looked like
snake
fucking
kit,
green
snake
blobs.
skin.
The third kit just looked like green blobs. I don't even. It was like fucking
Did we even wear that?
the odd occasion
Club kit,
probably wore it.
aye.
But I mean, hopefully, as you were saying, looks a bit better up close. But I do think we need to be having a word with a decent guy. Like, you've not released a half decent kit when
Well,
Bayern Munich, and Man United are getting screamers of kits.
apart from the obvious New Balance,
Oh
New
Jesus!
Balance kits were better looking, but
Uh,
that's
well,
no
like,
good
when have we actually last? Have
necessarily.
we actually had a good kit provider? Because New Balance was pretty shit. I thought as well.
Nike was decent.
Nike was like the
Nike,
ones in like. I think like the last few home kits was when Neil Lennon was like in charge of the first
well,
time.
20. If you remember the black Spartak Moscow top, that was a banging kit. That was George Samaras's diving header in Russia. But but I'm fed up saying, do you not think, especially Celtic kits, they overcomplicate them? I do.
Yeah, especially the third kit and all that. Like somebody put like a good template up, and it was the perfect Bumblebee kit. So it was similar to the lines that they've
Yeah,
done the
that
new,
do know
but
why.
but it's proper hoops, and
Aye.
and you're like, why you not just why not like you're probably better asking the fans what they want, and now you probably make a lot of sales on it.
Probably get better designs off fans, to be honest with you.
Like Like, see if they brought out a really good Bumblebee kit, it would fucking fly off the shelves. You would have a sale already. I'd buy it.
Aye. Because me and you like Bumblebee kits, because we've got a soft spot for kind of Dortmund. You're probably better than me at that. But,
I'm looking at the Bayern ones here. Like that. I mean, let me see.
I
I'm,
mean,
I'm looking.
even the best home kit that Adidas has had is the season that nobody likes talking about.
I know
But
that. I probably right there actually.
probably.
That was the
But
last decent season with kits. I thought the kits that night were that season were fucking
can
bang.
I just say the ones we don't wear, the fourth kits, are probably the best kits of the lot, but there's no point buying them because nobody wears them. You're never going to see the club wear them. So,
Exactly. I know exactly. I mean, it's just. I'm really.
but it's a See,
Well,
to
that's
be
the
honest,
Bayern kit. Like retro logo. They've got a
oh,
retro
that's
logo.
nice. Aye.
What now you've got this one here. That's the men's kit. Then you've got the black one. Man United had ones. Don't get me wrong, I'm a killer for the old Adidas logo. I think it's.
Aye.
But I
Well,
mean, we
we've
get
never
one that
ever
looks.
done that, really.
Let's we get. No, but you need to be one of these Adidas originals to get that logo on it. But we are now, and we get that shite.
I know. I know.
I mean, Man
I,
United have got
I
decent
just,
ones as well.
but do you know what Adidas will say? They'll sell anyway, so who
No, they
cares?
will. They'll still sell because people want to. That's what I'm saying. People like kind of like, change their eyes and change their opinions to think, right, no, it looks all right when really it looks utter shite.
I mean, you said to me last year, you said the only one I really like's the yellow one, and that's the one you got with Jot in
Even
the
that
back.
one, I'm not a big fan of.
But
I go to it's a Christmas present. That's all you need to know.
aye. Well, put
So
it this way, how many kits would you say off the top of your head that you would pay 70 quid for? I'm struggling.
what in
I
terms of retro kits or just kits?
No, kits that Adidas have released under the Celtic umbrella kind of thing. Since Adidas took over, you're probably talking, as I say, 4. You're probably talking that.
Plain black one, I didn't pay for that either. So I could see why somebody who's paying £70 it gets annoyed because
Yeah.
it's really bad. But anyway, I mean, Adidas, sort your shit out, please. Actually released good kits. I've been saying for years, but
Yeah.
anyway.
I mean, plain is better.
Exactly. I just think maybe got a simple Bumblebee design and maybe put the Adidas logo on it and just make wee changes. It's you don't need that's not a Bumblebee kit. It's just fucking lines.
And that's what we were promised.
Aye,
Do
it's
you
just
remember
lines.
that
Aye,
when I
that
seen
better not
that
be
one,
the aye.
and
That better not be the Bumblebee kit.
I know you're handsome, but you looked a state in that kit, to be honest.
No, but aye, Adidas sort your kits out. But
Yeah.
we'll wrap it up there. And obviously we'll be back tomorrow after the game for post-match reaction, hopefully talking about another Celtic win and hopefully taking one step closer to our 55th title. Until then, we'll speak to you later. And hail, hail.
Who will?